When you're injured or lose a loved one in an accident, it's the results that matter. And results are what you get with the Brosnahan Law Firm. Whether it's a vehicle accident, wrongful death, or injured child, the Brosnahan Law Firm is the right choice. Call 457-3000.
Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect.
Getting the right look at the right price
Perfect.
is always in style at Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to From the Dugout here on HBC TV 25. I'm Justin Barrientos. Thanks for joining us. We'll start off today's show talking Winona Chiefs baseball with Lee Trasinski. Thanks for being here again.
No problem.
Before we get into what's been happening the last 2 weeks with the Chiefs, I got to ask you about one thing after looking over the stats that you sent me. As you said before, you're a player manager.
Yep.
You pitch, you don't hit.
Yep.
However, I looked at the stats. One game, 2 plate appearances. You got a hit. What was the situation where you were able to hit?
We only had 10 guys on Friday night, so I had to hit for the first time all year and drew a 4-pitch walk my first at bat, and then hit a chopper right down the line for a double. So unfortunately, it was not a one hopper to the fence, but it counts the same, so I'll take it.
So a couple questions about that. How long has it been since you've actually had an at-bat, and what was the experience like kind of getting ready for it?
Usually I have 10, 20 at-bats a year, so last year was the last time. It wasn't, so it hasn't been too long, but yet got in the box the first time. I was glad it was a walk, so I could just see some pitches before actually having to swing, but the older I get, it is a little tougher to get in the box, but it worked out well, other than the pitching side.
Okay, so even though you do get a couple of at-bats per year, I mean, were there any nerves, any butterflies as you stepped into the box?
It's definitely still a little awkward, this feeling out there, because I hardly ever even take batting practice either, so it's just natural, the little bit of natural ability I have left. That's about all that's up there.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you reached base on
Yes.
both the times that you're up at bat. So hopefully that continues if you ever have to get at bat again this season. So where are you in the season, and how have things gone the past couple of weeks?
We've lost 5 in a row now. Just a couple really close games again, and then this weekend not so close games, but just ran into a couple of teams. Stewartville, was our last loss, and they've won 15 in a row, I believe. So it just ran into a buzzsaw there. But otherwise, a lot of lack of 2-out hits and just one defensive mistake or one bad pitch over the middle of the plate. But we're close. We're 4-9 now in the league and 5-14 overall. Towards the bottom of the conference, but we got our playoffs coming up, and you got to beat who you play. So it's not really going to make too much a difference in our league. Everybody's pretty close, except for the top 2.
Okay, and that'd be Stewartville, and who's the other one?
Austin and Wanamingo's actually creeping up there now. They've won 10, 12 in a row. So
okay,
it's been a have and have not conference for the most part.
All right, talk about who you've been able to have personnel-wise. You said you only had 10 guys for the one game.
We've had, every game is just a different group. Between Friday night and Saturday, we had 6, 7 guys that were at one and not the other. So you never know exactly who I have. Each game Friday's lineup was a little weaker as I was hitting 6th. So, it was definitely a weaker lineup, but that wasn't the reason why we lost, because we allowed 11 and 20 runs. So
that would probably do it.
Yeah.
Now you seem to have a pretty calm demeanor, and I know that the last couple times that we did Chiefs games, I'm hanging around trying to get a lineup from you, and you don't really have a lineup set because you don't know who's going to be there.
Yep.
What is that like, coming to the park, and you've probably contacted guys, you probably have a general idea of who's going to be there, but what's that like, having to try to come up with a lineup and a batting order and all that when you don't really know who's going to be there?
I have a pretty good idea, and I have a rough draft in mind, and all of a sudden I'll hear, this person is coming or this person isn't coming, then I'll just make one little edit or two little edits here and there. But otherwise, I do have a good idea of what I'm going to have before I get there each night. So it's not as bad as it sounds, but it's, all of a sudden it's like you don't know if somebody doesn't respond, but you think they're going to be there, so you put them in, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, no, they're really not here. So you never know, but it's not quite as bad as, sometimes it seems where it's like, oh, once in a while we do have just a flat out no-show where they say they're going to be there and all of a sudden they just don't show up. Yeah. But not very often.
All right, let's kind of go through the team then. Pitching-wise, how have things gone?
It's been a little struggle lately. I allowed 3 homers on Friday night, and it was a little bit of shock to the system because my arm actually felt as good as it had since the beginning of the year. So that was, but Dodge County, they had a good lineup. They had their guys there that night. The first time we played them, they didn't have their guys, so that's a big difference. And I wasn't at the game Saturday. I wasn't able to be there, but I know, Stewartville's just been crushing the ball. They've scored 9-10 runs a game, so I know we made a couple mistakes in the field to help them out, and they capitalized fully on them.
All right, so who takes over when you're not able to be there?
Usually Scott is kind of in charge, and then Zach Mayo. So.
Okay, and we'll be talking to Zach in just a little while here. All right, hitting-wise, how have things gone so far?
We generally can get on base. It's just with 2 outs or guys in scoring position, all of a sudden just a lot of pop-outs and strikeouts and little grounders that can't get runs in. It's, the Rochester game, the first time we had 15 base runners, but no runs scored, and this last time we had about 10 base runners the first 8 innings without scoring. So it's just, we're getting on base, we just can't get the big hit.
Gotcha. So what's coming up here? You said playoffs are coming up. How many regular season games do you have left?
We got 3 regular season games left, Friday and Saturday, and then playoffs will be the next weekend.
All right, and are those Friday, Saturday games at home?
Nope, both on the road. So we just have 1 playoff game at home for the rest of the year. So.
All right, and how are things looking kind of seating-wise? Do you have an idea of what will happen in the playoffs?
We have dropped significantly. We could still be anywhere from about 5 to 8 is about what it looks like in the 9-team league. There's a shot we could have a second home game for the playoffs, but we lost a tiebreaker to Dodge County, so because of the run differential. So hopefully we can get 2 or 3 wins this week and prop ourselves up far enough to avoid playing Austin or Wanamingo in the first round.
All right. Well, hopefully things get turned around and the Chiefs continue playing this summer.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. We're going to take a break here on From the Dugout. When we come back, Zach Mayo will join us. That's right after this.
When you're injured or lose a loved one in an accident, it's the results that matter. And results are what you get with the Brosnahan Law Firm. Whether it's a vehicle accident, wrongful death, or injured child, the Brosnahan Law Firm is the right choice. Call 457-3000.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. Getting the right look at the right price.
Perfect.
Is always in style. At Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.
And welcome back to From the Dugout here on HBC TV 25. Zach Mayo now joins us. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's start really from the beginning. Talk about your history in baseball, where you played before you joined the Winona Chiefs.
Sure. So I originally am from Connecticut, so from the East Coast. Went to high school out there. Eventually played college ball out on the East Coast as well. I first played a year down in New Jersey, and then I had transferred and played the second 2 years actually at Castleton University in Vermont. After that, I got into my career and found my way out here to Winona, Minnesota. So that's where I'm at now.
So you were a professor at St. Mary's. Is
Yes.
that what drew you here to Winona then?
It is, yes, yeah. It was the opportunity to advance in my career, and so that's what brought me to the area. Yeah.
All right. So when you get to Winona, did you kind of scout around to see what kind of baseball opportunities there would be?
I'll be honest with you, I was doing that long before I got to Winona. So before I was in Winona, I actually did a 1-year stint down in Iowa, and I was at a small little college in Iowa, again, as a professor down there. There was no summer baseball. And so I said to myself, the next place that I go better have some summer baseball. And so when I was invited to interview here in Winona, I said to myself, okay, there's a summer league. I can do that. And I like the college, so that works. Sounds good.
All right. So how many years have you been here and been with the Chiefs?
I am starting. So in Winona, I'm just completing my second year being here in Winona, and this will be my second season with the Chiefs as well.
Okay. So Lee, when you find out about Zach and he asks to be on the team, what's your reaction to having somebody who's been out on the East Coast? Usually it's local type of guys.
Yeah. Well, when he first came, I had no idea where he was actually from, and then, but I heard a professor wants to play. That was definitely the stranger part here. But yeah, obviously he's been a great addition to the team as a hitter and a relief pitcher. So, that's been very helpful.
All right, and you're also kind of the power hitter for the Chiefs this year. You lead the team in home runs right now.
I do. If you separate the stats, though, then I don't quite lead the team in home run because I've got one from the right side and one from the left side.
Okay.
So technically, if you separate out the
You're in a tie
stats,
with everybody else.
then I'd be in a tie with everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously, you're kind of a stat-minded guy. As Lee said, sometimes you help out with managerial duties. You could say, what's that been like?
So it's mostly been when Lee wasn't able to be there, right, and just helping manage either the infield or sometimes, depending upon my position that I'm in, I'm sometimes communicating more with the outfield. Scott and I tend to tag team a little bit if Lee's not there, and so we're just helping make those managerial changes if necessary with the players in the field. I've coached before as well, so it somewhat comes natural to me, and I actually really enjoy that side of baseball, the coaching side. So. Yeah, it just kind of comes natural to me.
All right. Now, you both are really statistical minded, and Lee, we've gotten into arguments and everything before. Do you guys get into arguments about stats and situations and how you play the numbers?
I don't think so. It's hard to argue with Lee. Lee's a very mellow guy, right? It's hard to argue with him unless he throws a breaking ball and he thinks it catches the corner, right? Then he gets a little frazzled, right? No, but Lee's a great guy. Like I said, kind of hard to argue with. I think the only disagreement that we had was one situation where I thought there was a hit, right? And apparently it was a fielder's choice. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah, nothing too. I mean, during games,
No.
It's not like we see the players that often, during the week or anything.
Right.
So, we just get to the games, and you got to play the game at that point. You don't really have too much time to have debates in the dugout.
Okay. Last minute that we have here, what are some things that maybe you need to work on and the Chiefs need to work on to snap this losing streak?
Sure. I think Lee maybe had said it earlier. Situational hits or working specific situations. One thing that I think we need to work on is either it's hard to say get that big hit, right? But when you leave a lot of runners on base, it's hard to win a ball game, right? And then same thing when it comes to pitching. There's a few times where we really just need that strikeout, or we really just need that put out, I should say. And there's been a few times, not necessarily because of the pitching, but maybe an error here or there where we'll falter, right? And so I think it's just working on those little aspects of the game that'll that'll help propel us a little bit further and snap that streak like you were saying.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in, and hopefully things turn around for the Chiefs. And good luck with as you close out the season.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to take a break here on From the Dugout. When we come back, we'll talk Winona Lee Jets baseball. That's right after this.
When you're injured or lose a loved one in an accident, it's the results that matter. And results are what you get with the Brosnahan Law Firm. Whether it's a vehicle accident, wrongful death, or injured child, the Brosnahan Law Firm is the right choice. Call 457-3000.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. Getting the right look at the right price. Perfect. Is always in style. At Cost Cutters.
Located in the professional building in the Winona Mall, 507-454-6030.
And welcome back to From the Dugout. We're going to talk Winona Lee Jets baseball right now with Gary Hepner, and thank you for coming back here.
Thanks for having us.
Season is kind of winding down, but this is kind of the time where you're playing a lot of games. Let's backtrack to last weekend. You played in an Eau Claire tournament. Tell us about what happened there.
Yeah, we went over to Eau Claire last week. Historic Carson Park. Great venue, great setting for Legion baseball. And we won the Eau Claire River City Classic tournament. We threw the ball real well. Our pitchers pitched real well. We actually finished in a tiebreaker with Eau Claire and Marshfield, and we all beat each other, so it came down to runs allowed, and we only gave up 8 runs for the 4 games, so we ended up winning via the tiebreaker. But we played real good baseball over there, offensively, defensively, and like I say, pitching was real good. So it's a tough tournament. Eau Claire is usually one of the top teams in the state of Wisconsin, so they tend to walk away with the tournament title quite a bit, so it was nice for somebody else to grab it, and hopefully that springboards us for the next couple weeks into the tournament next week.
Now, you were talking before about kind of the history around Carson Park in Eau Claire. Is that kind of one of the highlights of playing in a tournament like that? Just playing in an atmosphere where so many great players had once played? Yeah,
it's neat. You walk in and outside the stadium is a statue of Hank Aaron, and talks about him playing rookie ball there in 1952, I believe. Bob Euchre played there, Joe Torre played there, so a lot of past, professional baseball players, and we pointed it out to the players, stop and read the statue, a lot of baseball history in the park here, and it's kind of a neat thing, they played there years ago and kind of set the tone, and you can come in and play after them, or, you don't get to do that too often, a place where, Hall of Famers had played and now you're there playing, so it's kind of neat. So we made sure we pointed it out to the guys and told them to take a minute and appreciate, where they were and what they're doing.
All right. So from Eau Claire, then what happened after that?
Then we played last Wednesday at Owatonna, kind of a shootout. We won an 18-9 game, put up 21 hits, just hit the cover off the ball last Wednesday night. Couple home runs. We had 2 or 3 guys with multiple hits, 3-4 hits. It was a fun game. It got a little long, obviously, but played real well that game. And then Thursday, took one on the chin, lost at Rochester A's, who were one of the top Rochester teams. Had a 5-0 lead, just couldn't hold it. They came back and snuck out a 6-5 walk-off win in the bottom of the 7th, but I'm not afraid of playing them again. We should have won the ball game, but so we're set up. We go to Prairie du Chien, which has a real solid ball club this afternoon. Then we go to back to Rochester on Thursday to play the Patriots, which is the John Marshall High School team. And then tournament starts a week from today. The first round of the playoffs already next Monday, so it is winding down quick.
Yeah.
And we're set up pretty good right now. We've had a few days off where our pitchers have gotten some rest, so everybody will get some playing time today, and then we'll set a lineup on Thursday. That's probably going to be next Monday's lineup, and hopefully peaking at the right time.
How consistent has your lineup been? I know with vacations and everything during the summer, it's kind of hard to put together a lineup, but has it been pretty consistent?
It has been. We worked around some vacations. We worked around some football camps. had some guys missing for a few of those, not a whole lot. And we've had some injury stuff, we just lost Bennett Heffman last week to a knee injury. He had a meniscus surgery, so he's out for the year, which hurts a little bit. He was swinging the bat pretty well. So we've been pretty consistent, though, for the most part. 6, 7 guys have been pretty much cemented in the lineup, and then we rotate a few others in there. But it's been a pretty consistent lineup for the most part. So.
Okay, let's kind of break it down by the different facets of the game. Pitching-wise, who have been kind of your standouts so far?
Spencer Wright probably has been our number one. Right now he's 5-0. Has had a pretty good summer. Austin Malinchek's 5-1. And Parker Nelton, I think he's only 1-1 or 2-1, but those have been our 3 main starters, and they're all throwing around 30 innings or so apiece. And then we've got another 3 or 4 guys that have thrown 10 to 15 innings. So we've used 6, 7 people. Like I said earlier, we talked. I try not to burn anybody out. We try to develop some pitchers and get us some depth, but. Spencer, Austin Malinchek, and Parker Nelton will be the 3 going into the tournament, who will be our probably 3 starters, and then the other ones, Grant Buxengard, Brody Biddle. Those guys will get to throw some innings in relief also. But we'll go with the main 3, and hopefully, if you win your games, you can get through the district tournament winning 4 games. We did that last year and went 4-0 and off to the state tournament. So hopefully, if the pitching holds up, we should be pretty good. Defensively, we've been pretty set. Brody's at first, and now with Bennett out, he's the only first baseman we really have on the roster. Cale Brinkman's at third. Sam Nasek had an arm injury all year, so Cale's pretty much played 99% of the third base time. Matt Reinhardt's been pretty cemented in at short. We've jumped second baseman between Austin Malinchek and Spencer Wright. And then our outfield, we really only have 4 outfielders, so we're not real deep. We only are carrying right now 13 guys, so we're not real deep, but it gives everybody the opportunity to play a little bit, and those main starters are getting, by the end of the summer, they'll be close to 100 at-bats, which, is a good summer of baseball for them. So, not real deep, but it's as long as we stay healthy from this point forward, we should be in pretty good shape.
So hitting-wise, who has been your kind of your leaders?
Sam Nasek's really taken off. He's just been DHing since he can't throw. He's batting about 460 right now. I mean, he's just been on fire the last 2 weeks. Cale Brinkman's over 300. Jalen Vaughn's over 300. Parker Nelton's over 300. And Austin Malinchek's over 300. So those 5 have kind of been the top 5 of the lineup. And Austin's been our leadoff hitter most of the year, and we've moved Dane Gamoki up to a 2 spot. He's hovering a little below 300, but Cale, Jalen, and Parker have all kind of shuffled in the 3, 4, 5 spot. So offensively, we're pretty strong. I think our first 5, 6 guys were pretty strong, and then get a little contribution on the bottom. The 7, 8, 9 spots have been up and down a little bit, but overall, our team average is over 300. So. We're happy with where we're at offensively also. So.
Very good. Well, we're going to take a break here on From the Dugout. When we come back, Cal Brinkman will join us right after this.
Business Internet just reached the tipping point. Tip your hat to the information age. Get a gig for business and upload robust files, complex videos, and compound reports at the same time, in real time, while saving time. For DISA and data, get a gig. Got it? Now get going. Get Luminet Gigabit for Business backed by 24/7 wizard support from HBC.
And welcome back to From the Dugout here on HBC TV 25. Cal Brinkman now joins us. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
You come from a pretty athletic kind of sports type of family. Tell us a little bit about your family and where you go to school.
Well, I go to school at the Winona Senior High School, and I've just been playing sports ever since I was little. That's just what my dad wanted me and my brother to do, always outside, always swinging the bat, throwing a ball, just wrestling around and having fun. And that's just what we've always been, outdoorsy family, always just messing around outside, can't spend a good day inside,
Yeah. So has baseball always kind of been, a big sport for you, obviously with your dad's involvement with the Chiefs and that sort of thing? Has that kind of been a natural thing?
Yeah, I mean, I play other sports like football, but baseball has just always been my number one. My grandpa was in the the Minnesota Amateur Hall of Fame, and he's kind of been my role model going through all the pictures and all of his records and everything. And my dad going to WSU and all of his history he has with baseball, playing with the Chiefs, helping out, and I've always been in the dugout just with the guys, and it's the best sport for me. I think it's fun, but it can be serious, but it's probably like one of the funnest games I play. And then with Joe, my brother, I get to play with him like all the time, and it's one of those sports you can play for a long time.
Sure.
I like it.
All right. Gary, what does Cal bring to the team? I know when you were going through all the different facets of the game, Cal's name kept coming up. What does he bring to the Lee Jets?
He's been solid all summer for us, offensively and defensively. Batting well over 300. Have some power so he can hit for extra base hits on occasion. And defensively, like I said earlier, with Sam Nasak's injury, I think he's played all but one game at third base for us. We just don't have a lot of depth at third base, and he's stepped in and done a very good job there. He played a game at first, but obviously third base was, I think, a little more of his spot, and he was more comfortable in that spot. So he's been solid. So I have no problem penciling him in. He's basically moved from the third to the fifth or sixth spot in the lineup, so he's been in the top half all year. But he's done a real solid job. Been real happy with what he's done for us. So.
Okay. How do you feel your summer has gone so far?
It's been pretty good. It started a little rocky with the bats, and then I got a little hot streak, and then kind of fell at the Eau Claire tournament. Didn't have the best tournament, but I was putting the ball in play, just not when people were on all the time. But I'm trying to find it back, and it's been good so far. Been getting a lot of doubles, a lot of singles, one triple. That hasn't happened in a while.
So what did you think when you hit the triple then?
I mean, I looked at the dugout and everyone's laughing because I'm not very fast, and it just got hit in the right spot, and I made it all the way to third. So of course now I'm the fast guy, right?
Yeah, that's right.
He's not known for his speed, so yeah. that was surprising. But thank God Winona State has a big park. You just got to hit it in the right spot.
That
I
wouldn't
guess.
have happened at a normal field. No.
Okay, let's go back to when you said the season didn't start out so well. So I know it's different for everybody. How do you break out of a streak? What are some of the things that maybe you do or you don't do in order to get back into the rhythm?
Well, it's been different for this year because last year I was out for most of the year for my elbow surgery, so I didn't get to play all the time. So then this year I started a little bit late because I was doing all the physical therapy, and then I got back on, and I haven't been seeing live high school pitching in a while. And then I just had to get back in the groove, work on my swing, make sure that my technique was good before power. So I've just been working on bat speed.
Okay, and then defensively, you said that you play mainly third base. Is that your normal position?
Yeah, I played there when I was like 2 years ago, and then when I had to take the break, I had to play second before that because I just couldn't make that throw because of the pain. So then put me at third because I block the ball. I'll take the ball to the face if I have to. I've done that, and then I just have the strong arm to get it to first. And I like being at third. You get action, and it's kind of hard, but it's fun and exciting. It keeps the game alive.
All right, we got about a minute left in the show here. So what are some of the things that you need to do to kind of keep going here at the end of the year and into playoffs, and what does the team need to do to keep hot?
I think just got to keep batting and working on the batting because we can field all day. I mean, there's never really any errors. We're solid on the defense. It's just offensively, we really just got to work on like finding the bat to the ball. We're not so much like big heavy swings. Just try to get the ball in play. Like because we lost to Century, and they. Every single hit was in the infield. I don't think they had one over the outfielder. Every single one was just right in the gap in the infield. And so we just got to work on trying to put the ball in play instead of just popping up and trying to hit far.
All right. Well, thank you guys for coming in, and good luck in the end of the regular season and into playoffs.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us here on From the Dugout. We'll see you next time here on HBC TV 25.